and we want to heat the water to make it steam. So during the different conditions for this flow rate and also the temperature, you may come across this one: bubbly flow, slug flow, annular flow, there is another churn flow, or so many other things there. And in each condition, depending upon the type of flow, basically the heat transfer coefficient do change, and that is a biggest problem there, and we need to identify there. Actually, as I told, there was a famous accident which could be avoided with very great effort there. That was called a 3 Mile Island problem accident there in a nuclear power plant. So it was something like this, in a nuclear power plant, so basically, when the nuclear fusion, reaction takes place, it goes to a very high temperature. But that temperature, we want to basically extract it to heat the water into the steam or like this. So that's why the cooling water, what we call it, basically that is a heavy water, we can call it D2O, like this, are used to cool this there. So basically what we will find that there are certain tubes there, and where the cooling water are being passed there. But the point was that, and there are, I am just showing one, but there are number of things there like this. What? Yes? Any question? Yes, please. So here it is heating there. So the point was that this cooling water, it is I don't remember the temperature or like this there. So it cools down and takes away the heat there. Okay. But the point was that whenever there was a bubble detected there, this was a bubble detected here in that cooling tube like this there. And the bubble somehow got stagnated there. And as a result, what will happen? In this zone, in the bubble zone or like this, there would be less heat transfer. As a result, these tubes will be, this part of the tube is getting heated. And it was coming to a certain stage there that heating was so much that it was on the verge of melting down. And if it is melting down, then what will happen? The nuclear reaction or nuclear radiations or nuclear elements will come over here, and it will be polluting to all the water sources and like this. There could have been a big damage, and not only that, whole furnace, there was a possibility that it was that it could be a breakdown and a huge accident could have taken place. It happened in USA, I think it is, I don't remember, it is possibly in 1990s or something like this. So it was a big problem, because otherwise outside you cannot detect the bubble. And the second thing, the bubble, the location of the bubble, the shape of the bubble, size of the bubble, these are all depends upon and fixes that what would be the temperature here. So naturally, it is very important to know what are the things, whether there is a bubble or not, what is the size of the bubble, and these are very important for nuclear safety. Fortunately, the scientists and engineers could work together and harder like this, and they could do something to remove the bubble. I don't know how, but it was but it was a very tense week, almost more than around a week. It was like this, that everybody in the world were thinking that what will happen if this nuclear power plant breaks down. So naturally, this nuclear safety is also important for this one. So we would be mainly discussing or a regime identification, or basically like this. These are the problems there, how to decide it and do the things there. And for that one, we look for what we call it impedance tomography. Impedance tomography means as the this liquid or this thing passes, how the impedance varies, that we'll be trying to find out here. I will just go to that point, but before that, I would generally, you can say that what is, I can explain what is tomography, is that one is measurement and another is reconstruction. If for a single case, you can say it's an ultrasonic tomography. You use that probe and like this. If you have done, you have seen how the ultrasonography takes place. You take it, you have a probe and try to pass ultrasound through your human body on like this, and see back what is your reflected waves there. So you first do the measurement, and from different points on the places are like this. So first part is the measurement, and second part is that with the measurements we try to reconstruct what is your inside your body. We just, that is a reconstruct, and try to give you a physical picture how the things look like and what are the things there. So plainly, it is two parts. It's a measurement and reconstruction. We will see it also, the measurement and for this one, our knowledge of our mathematical modeling is definitely required for that one. For example, if we take it an X-ray tomography, say, suppose your body is like this, and we have got some certain objects there. If I look at pass X-ray to this one, you will get some sort of of the reflection of the shape of the body. If I pass the X-ray from this side and place a there, X-ray detector there, you will get some sort of views like this. If we similarly, if we pass it from this side, you will get some sort of view. So you can see it from this is your body, and possibly X-ray is penetrating up to this one, and this is your say suppose your bone or like this, where the penetration is poor, and from that here I get it, if pass X-ray from three directions or like this, and we get some sort of, depending upon the intensity map or like this, we get three images there. Suppose it is 3 X-ray plates, we have it all like this. So this is the first part, which is the measurement, and the second part is the looking at the 3 images there. What we need is to reconstruct. That is the second thing. What we will do it is that how to reconstruct the thing. That is one of the most important points there. So basically, if we look at it, it is the first part is that X-ray. You just take it and seek the readings of these from three directions like this there, and which is possibly one more very challenging task is that is a X-ray tomography or reconstruction like this. So you will find a number of research work is being going on in this way, how to have an improved reconstruction algorithm, how to do it like this, how it is more faster, and how we can have a better accuracy, all the things. If you go through any paper, a journal like this there, you will find a lot of this one on tomography, and which is really interesting and like. Obviously, we cannot go to those details, but only thing neither I am comfortable with it. But what we can say that I will try to give you that what is the basic steps, and if the basic steps are almost the similar for all the cases, and the basic thing we will get it, and particularly what we do is we will discuss about the tomography or impedance tomography. Impedance means either resistance or capacitance or both are changing if there is a change in the medium, or like this permittivity or resistivity of the medium there. And to detect from this, from outside, you measuring the resistance and capacitance. How do you do it like this there? So for that one, the basic scheme is simply, so just if I put it, the capacitance tomography. So suppose we have a pipeline. As I told, in the pipelines we often require what is inside there, what is the volume of two phases, or whether there is any choking or any other problems like this there. So maybe suppose there are two mediums. One permittivity is epsilon 1, and inside there is another one which is epsilon 2. Maybe one is water, one is void, or definitely these are the two things there. Now what we do is that I put outside few electrodes. So overall what we can say that there are these are the electrodes. And what are the things there? Say suppose I just name them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay. So externally I put 8 electrode systems. So we can call them 8 electrode systems. So, all the 8 where I will be coming for this one, taking from this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 electrons. So all of them are going like this. Say suppose 8 is coming over here, 7 is coming over here, and like this, and similarly 1 is coming over here. So all the 8 electrodes are coming as an input to what we call it a sensor electronics. So basically some sensor electronics is there, means they suppose between 1 and 5 I want to measure. I select this point 1 and 5 and I try to find out what is there, some switch there, some multiplexers are there. So one bit I wanted to find out what is the capacitance between 1 and 5. Then suppose 2 and 6, 3 and 7, 4 and 8, all the things there. So in fact, we can also between 1 and 2, 2 and 3 and all the things. So total number of measurements we can have. What is the total number of measurements we can have it? It's basically
8C2.
if we have for n electrode. It is n into n minus
NC2.
1. Basically, one is you are fixing and other you are having like this there. But capacitance between 1 and 2 and capacitance between 2 and 1 being the same, it is n into n minus 1 divided by 2. So in this case, for 8 electrode system, it is n is equal to 8. We will get this is 8 into 7 by 2. It is basically 28 number of readings we can have it. And then with all the readings, we do some processing and finally we have a display reconstruction algorithm where we do it using a computer. You try to give a shape of what are the things there. Okay. So basically there are 28 readings. We take the measurements of all the readings, possible combinations of this one, and go for this one, the capacitance to voltage conversion, and obviously the AD conversion and all other things there, and filter amplifications, those things are there. And finally, with this from 28 number of readings, we try to reconstruct what will get it like this. So first thing will be obviously more number of electrodes, more number of more accuracy would be there, but the complexities will also be here. First thing, obviously, I must tell you that the measurement technique is not that easy, because actual hardware electronics, how do you measure capacitance? Often we find the capacitance to be very, very small, and the variation of capacitance you may be in the range of picofarad or even femtofarad. But mind it, there is always some stray capacitance involved here in the measurement process, and it is very difficult to distinguish which one is sensing sensor signal and whether it is a noise that we need to identify. So naturally the measurement circuit is also not a very easy one because of the actual scenario where you require the circuit has to be very sensitive, at the same time the filtering circuit and all other things, or maybe the ground loop interference and all the things will be required and there. So these are the things there. So from the sensor electronics, we take the measurements of different combinations, and from there we try to give it to a computer. On that one, you do reconstruction, and the point is that how closely the reconstructed image will be close to the actual image. So naturally, it can be done in many ways. We are there. We'll slightly discuss and like this. And basically, all of them will require some sort of training phase. That means if we have a known way of what we can say known distribution of this one, if we and what is the values variation of capacitance values there, from that one, that is a training set there. So you can do it by measurement, but here measurement is also sometimes a problem, or you can do it using what we call modeling. Okay, that means, say suppose this is the position where there is a different permittivity there. What would be the distribution of this one? And after that, so modeling is one of the, because measurement also may be difficult sometimes. So that is, but all of them is basically part of your training there. And ultimately, the reconstruction is that your actual scenario, you take the measurements and see how and try to reconstruct the things there. So this is not an easy job there, but several researchers have worked on it, and I will just give you some very basic elementary ideas about these things there. So what we can say is that formally we can say that this tomography problem can be divided into two parts. In terms of, say, suppose I put it in a void fraction A there, for this example, we can say forward problem, which is it given the void distribution. I have just put it the two medium, I say it is gas and liquid, say. So this is, we call it a void distribution. You can have a different one here also. Find capacitance values between each two pairs, terminals rather we can say. So we have a given a void distribution, shape and medium, all the things it is known. So forward problem, it's a known there. Find out what will be the capacitance value for what is C12, what is C23, C34, all like this there. So this could be done by the experimentation also, but often fixing this experimentation, doing the experimentation, what will be the different distribution, what would be the A, it is often very difficult, and hence we require some modeling, and that modeling can also be helped and like this, and because we know that okay, if it is the shape is known there, you know they have got a Laplace equation, we can solve it with its boundary condition, and we can take recourse of finite element method or finite difference method to find out what is the capacitance between each of the terminals. So it could be forward problem, it could be by taking random measurements and a large number of measurements, or could be the modeling, known the shape and known the geometry, what would be the capacitance. And so if that is changed, we look for mostly what will be the difference of capacitance. And so the second problem is inverse problem. That is, given capacitance measurement, that means I have made a capacitance, so all the 28 readings we have it, and from that 28, sorry, 8 electrode system, for this twist on these 28 readings, I will have to reconstruct that things there. So, reconstruct the geometry. So, this one, as I told, both of them, it's mathematically intensive. You will have to take recourse of a mathematical tool, several mathematical tools and etc. there. So, first part is a forward problem. We require to model, if whatever is that distribution of this capacitance or these two mediums are like this, what would be the variation? And from that one, we try to find out what will be from there, where it will be putting it like this there. Okay. So finally, what is the result? Is basically visual image. We go for visual image, we try to put it there like this thing. So we can go for, this is a typical case of capacitance tomography, but we can have a resistance tomography or capacitance tomography. Depending upon the situation, but knowing the capacitance values are more stable, they are not affected by temperature and other environmental conditions there. So capacitance tomography are mostly preferred there and these cases like. Then next we will go for the what are the ways we can do it, what are the algorithms for this one I will be discussing. And I would request you, and particular the algorithm, I request you if you get time, you just go through this paper. Of course, there are many, but I found this paper to be readable. Wang and Ping image reconstruction algorithm for electrical capacitance tomography. That is, this was published in Measurement Science and Technology. It is basically IOP publication, Institute of Physics publication, and here it is volume 14, 2003, and here page R1 to R30. So this one you can, if you may just download it and see it. So basically the thing there, that is the electronics, the capacitance tomography, how do you do the image reconstruction, do that. So that one I will be discussing in the next class, but definitely not in very detail, only give an outline and based on this one. And as I told you that the electronic circuits, measuring electronic circuit is also equally difficult, and that part I have simply right now ignoring. I am assuming that we know how to measure capacitance, what are the problems there, and those things here there. But here next class you will be going for the this reconstruction algorithm there. So I will stop here. Any questions? Yes? Any questions from any one of you? Please go through the books and literature, or just you go capacitance tomography or process tomography, you will get a number of papers and books and like this there. Just try to get a rough idea about these things there. And that is, maybe some of you can take up this topic also for your seminar presentation afterwards. You can think of and do the things. But what you will like to present, you must tell us before and then. So we have for seminar. Karuna, are you present?
Yes,
Okay.
sir, I am here.
So who are the people who will, after 2 minutes break or 5 minutes break, we'll start that one. Who are the people who will be giving that one? I will take it, but I will first take the attendance.
Sir,
Today is, I think today is 3rd. Pritam Rao is present. Acha. Bharat Naik? Ayush
Yes, sir.
Gupta?
Yes, sir.
Ayush Anil Gupta is present.
Yes, sir.
Lakshmin, that is 35002. Gadugari Lakshmi Nikhil.
Sir, Bharat Naik present. 16W3501 Bharat Naik present, sir.
Oh, acha, you are present. Fine. Vikas, Vishwa Vikas, Jogendra,
Sir, present, sir.
Jaideep Singh, Matla Kartik. Matla Kartik, I didn't find any day present. We'll see. Like this there. Mayank Kriparam.
Present, sir.
Mekhala Srijit.
Present, sir. Present, sir.
Mohit Darul.
Present, sir.
Sanket Kumar Singh.
Present, sir.
Sanket Singh Jade.
Present, sir.
Sanjog Jayant.
Present, sir.
Saurabh Meena.
Present, sir.
Shailesh Mishra.
Present, sir.
Shreyashi or Srirangachari, Srirangachari 35015. Absent. Toti Sivakumar.
Present, sir.
Anirban Mojumdar.
Present, sir.
Aditya Vatsa.
Present, sir.
Anirudh Rai. Akib Amin. Devans Raj.
Sir, present. Sir. Sir, present, sir. Akib Amin.
Huh? Akib Amin.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Devans Roy also present.
It's present. Achha. Kollipara Bhavanaga.
Present, sir.
Krishnendu Mondol.
Yes, sir.
Pari Avinav,
Present, sir.
Shivam Kumar,
Present, sir.
Supratim Kundu, Vishal Raj,
Present, sir.
Ashutosh Pradhan, Aniruddha Kirtania, Aritra De, Diana Bukania,
Present, sir.
Ovijit Deshmukh, Akash Sharma,
Yes, sir.
Akshat Agarwal, yes? Akshat Agarwal, Anshul Modi,
Present, sir.
Anupravo,
Present, sir.
Gopi Vamsi, Mukesh,
Present, sir.
Priyatam Naik,
Present, sir.
Medha Kaushika,
Present, sir.
Rahul Mallu,
Present, sir.
Saurabh Sumit,
Yes, sir.
Sayan Nashkar, Saurabh Sahu, Bindu Priyatha,
Present, sir.
Sujabrato,
Present, sir.
Saurabh Sharma,
Present, sir.
Krupakar,
Yes, sir.
huh?
Present, sir.
Krupakar,
Present.
I don't find, I didn't, 3 days I called, Krupakar is not present. It is not expected from a defense personnel.
Sir, I am available, sir. I have been,
You never respond.
sir, I have been responding every time, sir. I am available, sir. I have made all the notes also, sir.
I don't know. It's my record. None of that time you responded. Okay, I am giving presentation. Here, there. KK Jha.
Yes,
KK Jha.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Maksud Alam.
Present, sir.
Gargi.
Yes, sir.
Shubham Dwari.
Yes, sir.
Bala Srinivasa.
Present, sir.
Tejoshi Buddha.
Yes, sir.
Dipti Ganwal. Dipti. Saurabh Singh. Asha Kumar Prajapat.
Present, sir.
Kingsuk Sadhu.
Yes, sir.
Satya Prasad.
Yes, sir.
Tandu Ashok.
Yes, sir.
Mamin Venkateshwarlu. Somodev Bhattacharya.
Present, sir.
Vedant. And Kama 35020. It's not there. Okay. So who are the people who would be giving seminar today? Karuna, I mean, you just
Sir.
please respond.
Yes, sir. Ashok Thandu would be giving
Ashok.
first. Then
What is
Bala
the phone number?
Srinivas Reddy.
Yes, sir.
Sir, Thandu Ashok.
Sir, Manne Venkateshwarlu present, sir.
One by one. Karuna,
Sir, Ashok, sir, roll number is 20EE64R13.
oh, 24
Yes, I will give, sir.
64
R13.
R13. Okay, Thandu Ashok. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
We will be giving today 3-2. Then
Sir, next is Bala Srinivas Reddy.
Present.
next is Bala.
Srinivas Reddy.
Pandula Bala Srinivas Reddy.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. You will be giving presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then
Sir, excuse me, sir.
yes.
Sir, it's Manne Venkateshwarlu. I'm present, sir, actually.
Huh?
My Manne Venkateshwarlu, 20EE92R09. Present, sir.
Double E 921.
92R09.
Okay, fine. Acha. Karuna,
Yes, sir. Next is Tejasvi Buddha.
Tejoshi,
Buddha. 20EE64R06.
20ER Tejoshi Buddha. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Then
And fourth is Bindu Priyata,
Bindu
17.
Priyatha, are you present?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Bindu Priyatha roll number?
IE 33014. IE 3314 014.
Diana Bindu IE
IE 33014.
01?
4.
Oh, Bindu Priyatha. Okay. So let us give for this for 4 people, and we will be noting down this one. So next 4 we can select among the dual digit. I think we should distribute it in this way. So you please, and please volunteer, and Karuna, you please take care, and
Okay,
I will be taking off the stage, and within so first one we will be giving. Who is giving?
Ashok Tandu.
Okay, Bindu Priyatha, can you start with it? Share your screen.
Yes, sir.
দেখো সেমিনার দেবে, ওরা একটু শেয়ার করবে স্ক্রিনটা।
So now is it visible?
No, you'll have to present now.
So good morning. I'm Bindu Priyatha, and I'm
Give it full screen. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Good morning. I'm Bindu Priyatha, and today I'm going to talk about a smart mattress that could measure ECG and respiratory signals through clothes. It was designed for more convenient monitoring of physiological or pathological information about heart and autonomous nerves during sleep. So before learning about the system, it's important for us to know how the ECG signals are generated. So I want you to remember that this is the sinus rhythm. So we have a P wave and then a QRS complex followed by a T wave. So ECG, electrocardiogram, electricity, cardio, heart, gram means visualize. So this is the electro ECG is used to visualize the electricity that flows through the heart. And ECG tracing specifically shows how the depolarized wave, see this is produced from sinoatrial node that's present in the heart here, and the wave propagates in this way. So this is a wave of positive charge, and the way it looks